Yes, sir. Good afternoon. So over here we are going to see our first chapter, business ethics. Okay. Uh, in previous lecture we have discussed a little bit about the business ethics. The introduction part we have finished. Okay. Now we are going to see the next point that is called as Eastern and Western ethical thoughts. Okay. Nowadays we can see that the ethics is divided into two categories. One is the Eastern part and one is the Western part. Okay. In the Eastern part, we are looking more uh, cultural values, tradition kind of activities in the Eastern part. But if we compare from Eastern to Western, in Western you can see more fashionable kind of culture is there, right? They are dependent more on the artificial things, right? But in Eastern part, we are more concerned with our traditional values, right? Even in India also, we can see there are some parts which is comes under the head of Western parts, such as Maharashtra, Gujarat, Rajasthan, right? There is Eastern part also, such as Northeast states. Take an example of Assam, Meghalaya, Manipur, Mizoram. These all are the Eastern part. Okay. Now, uh, see, if we see the European countries, like in the books also they have given in European countries, you can see the wedding, they are not dependent more on kurta pajamas, right? Their clothing, their way of living is different as compared to Indian culture, right? Now, now in the book also, see in your book they have given about the difference between the European countries and the Indian countries, right? Now, if we concern about the manners and etiquettes, good manners and etiquettes, although very identifying, are not the essential for ethical behavior. Whether one hold a fork in one right hand and the left hand is totally insignificant when compared to the values of telling the truth. Okay. Uh, uh, Truth is appreciated beyond boundaries, and all cultures have the same definition for the fundamental values such as truth, justice, love, and respect. Okay. Now, nature of values. Okay. In your book also they have given a lot of nature of values about the Eastern and Western phenomena. Okay. Now, if you concern about the business ethics from the business point of view, right? There are a lot of things we need to understand. Okay. Uh, Now, if you see from the business point of view, the element of business ethics are very different. Okay. These are the central notion in moving from the unethical business condition to the ethical business one. Okay. See, there are a few ethical judgment. If you discuss, one is ethical imagination, right? Developing ethical imagination means being sensitive to ethical issues in business decision making, and ability to identify those situations where people are likely to detrimentally affected by decision making. Okay, decision making plays a very important part. Okay, if you go anywhere, you can see the decision making part plays an important role. Okay, because without decision making, your business cannot be survived. Okay, so decision making is very much important phenomena, and there are other points also, which is ethical judgment. Take an example of ethical identification and ordering. Okay, it refers to the ability to judge the relevance and or non-relevance of ethical factors in decision making situation. In order to their identification, ethical issues must be ranked. Several decision situations in which ethical identification and ranking have become important in recent year include the issues of a continuing business or plant closure, the status of employees' right to know what toxic chemicals they are being exposed to. Okay. Now, ethical evaluation. To evaluate ethical factors, business person have to develop clear principles. Okay, there principles should be clear because they are in a position to make a decision, right? So for the ethical evaluation, to evaluate ethical factors, business person have to develop clear principle basis on weighting those factors and the ability to make out the likely ethical as well as economical outcomes of decisions. Okay, tolerance of ethical disagreement or ambiguity. Okay, one of the principle of objections to ethical is to extend the disagreement and ambiguity that to tolerate the thinking ethically. Okay, this must be accepted because there is no other way. For example, including a new product based upon limited test marketing, okay, may be a critical decision, but businessmen have become very much efficient to make them in spite of disagreement and ambiguity among those involved in the decision. Okay, so this is the best example for testing the marketing plant. Okay, now integration of managerial and ethical competencies. Okay, ethical competencies are the integral part of the managerial competence. Business person must have a conscious that there is a price to pay unethical behavior. The ethical business person sees every involving decision as one in which the ethical perspective must be integrated. Okay, now the last one is a sense of ethical obligations. Okay, this refers to the initiation or learn understanding that ethical fabrics a concern of the fairness, justice, and process to people, groups, and communities such as woven into the fabric and non and of managerial decision making. Finally, the socially profitable business is one of the which provides society both economical and societal net gain in reflection to inputs, right? They're not their main concern not just to earn profit, but their main concern is to make a proper decision. Okay, over here decision plays an important role because decision with the help of the decision only the business can grow, right? So it's our responsibility, I mean it's a responsibility of businessman to see that any kind of harmful effect should not be done for the societal point of view, right? Because you should also have to give some benefits to the society also. Not just earning a profit is the main phenomena, but for giving society something in return is a very good thing. And if you provide something beneficial part for the society also, your business name is going to be very much effective in the society, right? People are eager to purchase your products because you are providing some kind of benefits to the society as well. So societies expect business to give increased attention to the social profitability. Okay, there are two type of profitability. One is social profitability and another one is economical profitability. Economical profitability is the profitability which is given, which is earned by you. But the social profitability is the profitability which is given to the society, right? So, so it is a important point from the society point of view that the society should have to earn a good privilege. How can they are able to sustain? How businessman able to sustain? He can able to sustain just by providing social benefits also towards the society. They should also have to make little bit about the contribution for the society, right? Because society is the main concern for the businessman also. Okay, without society anything cannot be achieved. If you want to achieve anything in your life, you should know the etiquettes of the society profitability as well, right? Now in the book they have given about the behavioral point of view, right? There are a lot of things which has been given in your book. See, I would like to explain one point that is called as monopoly, right? Whenever you see, first of all, what do you mean by monopoly? You need to understand this concept very well, right? See, a monopoly is a concept where there will be one buyer and lot of sellers. Oh, sorry, one seller and lot of buyer. Okay, and it is a hand of buyer that they can put any kind of amount to that product, because the product is available to that person only, that buyer only, I mean that seller only, right? Because there is no other person those who can sell the product, because they don't know how to produce that product, or there is no availability, there is no supply of that kind of product. So over here what we need to do, we need to see that your production should be increased, and how your production should be, how your product can be can show growth when you are going to sell product more into the market. But some of the business people, they know that the product is not available in other area also, so they are putting the price as per their own norms. So it is very much difficult for the company to show a growth and prospectus, because growth is very much difficult to be earned, because nowadays people are there who are showing a lot of some of the people, those who are doing a business, some of the monopoly kind of people, they are putting their own prices, they are increasing the prices by their own ways, and it is very much difficult for the customers to purchase that kind of product, right? But nowadays, government has put in a lot of rules and regulation and amendments for this monopoly business person, because they are putting the price by their own ways, right? I mean, they are increasing the prices, and it is very much difficult for the consumers to purchase that product, customers to purchase that product, buyer to purchase that product, right? So over here, government has played an important role over here to stop the monopoly uh, seller by putting their own price. Okay, so they have created some kind of rules and regulation for the sake of the society, for the sake of the consumers, because consumers are the person those who are living in the society, and they are providing a contribution for the economic development and economic growth of the country. So over here, government has put in a lot of restriction for the monopoly people, the monopoly sellers, those who are keeping a price very high of the product, because there is no other alternatives for the consumers to purchase the product, because the product is available in that doorstep only. So that seller only. So government has really shown a good prospectus for the sake of consumers over here. Now we are going to discuss the workplace, individual workers, and morals. Okay. Now, see, in the introduction part, they have given the example of Gandhiji, right? The handspun cloth, which is called as a khadi kind of a product, which is linked with the Swadeshi. I mean, they are given more focus on the domestic products as compared to the international products, right? I mean, we should also have to keep in mind that we should have to purchase the product which is being generated, or which is being produced, or which is being manufactured in our country only. So we don't have to depend upon the other countries. Now I will give you an example of Chinese product, right? Nowadays Chinese people, what they are doing, they are having a lot of supply of product to India, right? It is a very much difficult for the people, those who are living in India. I mean, they are purchasing more Chinese product, because Chinese people, what they are doing, they are keeping the price low, and they are supplying a large amount of products to India. And Indian people are very much eager to purchase that product, because these products are very much convenient, and the prices is also very less. So people are eager to purchase such kind of product, but it is very much difficult for the Chinese people. Indian entrepreneur, I mean to say Indian entrepreneur, it is very much difficult for them to manufacture or produce such kind of product, because the Chinese product price is very low, and Indian businessmen, they are not able to produce such kind of product. See, I will give you an example. Take an example of Chinese toys. Okay, toys. Now, the Chinese toys, the price of the one Chinese toys, take an example, is rupees 20 or 30. And if Indian entrepreneur want to manufacture that product, the cost only for the manufacturing purpose, it goes up to 40 to 50 rupees. So the Indian person, they are not ready to keep themselves in that position to purchase the product. So it is very much difficult for them to survive into the market, because you know this kind of thing is happening over here. And Indian entrepreneurs, they are not ready to switch to the products which is being manufactured by Chinese people. And Indian government also, they are also dependent upon the Chinese product. Why? Because they are selling at a very lower cost, and Indian entrepreneurs, they are not ready to sell the product as per the Chinese cost price, because the cost price of Chinese product is very much low, and the quality is up to the mark also. I mean, it is not that much bad as we see, because Chinese product, people say Chinese product is not good, but actually it is a good product. That's why the Indian people are purchasing. Okay, the lifetime of the Chinese product may be less. Chinese product may be less. The lifetime of Chinese product may be less, but the services which is being provided by the Chinese products is also very good. And it is very much difficult for the Indian entrepreneur to switch their business uh, in such kind of products and commodities which is being supplied by the Chinese products, Chinese people. So what I need to say over here, we need to depend on our own products, but it is very much difficult for us to, to make a such kind of production in our country, because the cost value is very much high. And if the Indian entrepreneurs start to make a product of whatever the product which is being purchased by the Chinese people, if we do the production of such kind of product, take an example of Chinese toys. If you start doing a production of the toys from Indian point of view, it the cost may go up to 50 or 40 or 50 rupees, and the Chinese price, the cost is 20 to 30 rupees only. So why Indian people are going to purchase Indian toys? Because the price is very much high, and the Chinese toys, the price is very much low. So they will do the production of Chinese toys only, right? So this is the important factor, and we have to keep in mind that this kind of things should not be happened. I mean, we should also have to make a focus on our production, right? And the cost should also be lesser. Now I will give you an example of Patanjali products, which is most biggest good example of Swadeshi products. Okay, Patanjali they have came into the soap, detergent, and other cosmetic products also, right? And they have increased the production, and the cost is also very much less as compared to the other products. Take an example of product like Lux, Hindustan Unilever, their cost is very much high. But if you see the cost of our product, take an example of Patanjali, the cost is very much low, and people are ready to purchase that kind of product because the cost is very much low, and the service which is being provided by the Patanjali products is also very much low. So people are eager to purchase that product. Now see, issues related to ethics at the workplace, right? Whenever you are working in any organization, there are few ethical norms we need to follow. Okay. Now, see, uh, in your book, they have given few example. Take an example of business relationship. The behavior of businessman, business person towards customers, suppliers, and other in their workplace may be generated ethical concern. Ethical behavior within the business involves keeping company secrets, meeting obligations and responsibility, and avoiding undue pressure that may force other to act unethically. Okay, managers in particular, because of the authority of the position, have the opportunity to influence employees' action. Okay, so their main focus is to keep in mind that the business relationship should be good. Okay, because there are few obligations also, there are few company secrets also which involves. So undo this process, they should also avoid such kind of things to make a healthy relationship with the other party concerned. Okay, they have given few examples also, right? Then conflict of interest. Okay, the conflict of interest exists when the person must choose whether to advance his or her own personal interest to those of the organization. Okay, so over here also they have given the example of Walmart. Okay, Walmart is a US based company, US based company. Okay, so they have given the example over here about the Walmart, the conflict of concern. Then fairness and honesty. Definitely, fairness and honesty are the heart of the business ethics and are related to the general values of decision makings. At a minimum, business person are expected to follow all applications, laws, and regulations. But beyond obeying the laws, they are expected to not to harm customers, employees, conflicts, and competitors, knowing through deception, misrepresentation, coercion, and discrimination. Okay, one aspect of fairness and honesty is related to disclose the potential harms caused by the product use. Okay, so they have given the example of Mitsubishi Motors, that is a Japanese company. Okay, then communication. Okay, communication is also one of the another area in which ethical concern may arise. Okay, a false or misleading advertising as well as deceptive personal selling tactics anger consumers can lead to the failure of business. Truthfulness about the products safety and quality are the important to consumers. Okay, the food and drug regulatory authorities need to ensure that the customers are told the truth about product safety, quality, and effectiveness claims. Okay, so over here they have given the example. Now, discrimination. Definitely, the root of meaning of discriminate is to distinguish one object from another. Okay, discrimination is treating people differently. Okay, in an organization, if you are new, suppose if you are new, definitely there will be a discrimination with you because you are a new person and you don't know how to work. So the more demand and you can say more preference is given to the previous employee because he is the person who are doing a more work, he is providing a more output as compared to you. So definitely there will be a discrimination, but in the principle of management there is one principle that is called as principle of equality. Okay, so each and every employer in each and every organization, this principle should be implemented in the organization, right? Principle of equality. So the manager, those who are there in the organization, he should not discriminate from one employee to the another employee because employment discrimination is treating one person better than another person. There will be some reason, some kind of reason. See, in the book also they have given few type of discrimination because of their age, gender, race, religion, or other protected class status. So with the help of this, you can able to make a discrimination. But discrimination is unlawful. Okay, and there are some acts also which tells the story of discrimination. I mean, discrimination should not be done in the organization. If any organization, they 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 pass this kind of discrimination in the organization, definitely, if the person complain the organization members, then it will be difficult for them to survive in the organization, right? So it's a responsibility of the manager, those who are there, those who are getting work done from the employees. So he should keep in mind that the discrimination kind of work activity should not be going to be there, right? He have to keep in mind that discrimination activity should not be done. Okay. Now, discrimination of employment involves three basic elements. See, first, it's a decision against one or more employees. Okay, that is not based upon individual merits such as ability to perform a given job, seniority, or other morality, legitimate qualification. Okay, so the second one is the decision derived solely in part of the racial and sexual prejudice, false stereotypes, and some other kind of morality and justice attitude against members of the class to which the employees belongs. Then the third one is the decision. Set of decision has harmful or negative impact on the interest of the employees, perhaps costing them jobs, promotion, and better pay. Okay. Discrimination of employment is wrong because it violates the basic principle of justice by discriminating between people on the basis of character, race, and the sex that have not relevant to the tasks they must perform. Right? In some organization, the preference is given more male preference is given as compared to female preference, and in some organization, they want that female employees should be there as compared to male employees because there will be some kind of reasons. But over here, some of them, they are doing very hard work, but even though they are not able to get a promotion, right? This kind of things is also been happening. So what we need to see that the promotion should be provided to each and every employee in a proper way as per their work, right? So in a lot of organization, the kind of discrimination is happening, and due to which people are leaving the organization, and the people those are working very good, those are working very hard, sometimes they are not getting an opportunity of appreciation also. So this kind of things is being happening in the organization, and we need to stop with this kind of discrimination in the organization. So it's a responsibility of the managers and the owner of the company to see all this stuff uh, by the next eyes. Now, the next point is recruitment practices. Sometimes in the recruitment process, also the discrimination kind of things is being happening, right? They are giving more preference to the sometimes to the sexual group. I mean, more preference is given to the male people because the male people are, they are very much capable of doing the job as compared to the managers and the employees of, as compared to the manager or owner of the company over there. But sometimes the preference is given to female peoples also, right? Conditions of employment, promotion practices, definitely in sometimes the person those are doing a very good job, he is not able to get a promotion by because he done a very hard work, even though he is not able to get a promotion. This kind of things is also been happening in the organization. So we need to see all this stuff in a proper way. Then harassment. Definitely, harassment is one of the biggest drawback of the organization. Some organization, this kind of things is also been happening, which is called as violence the employees by their basic rights of freedom and dignity, and injustice or misbehavior. Sometimes for the female candidates, there will be sexual harassment, which is also going on nowadays also. So it need this kind of things. The company should also have to give focus, right? Now, importance of ethicals at the workplace. This we have seen, right? An organization, whether the business or a government agency, right, is first and foremost a human society. Is the employer does not keep to create a work environment, whereas the employees have a clear common understanding of what is right or wrong and feel free to discuss and ask questions about ethical issues and report violations. Significant problems could arise includes, see now, see, they have given the example of the problems that they are facing. Increase the risks of employees making unethical decisions, increase tendency of employees to report violation and outside regulatory authorities because of the lack of adequate internal forums, inability to recruit or retain top people, diminish reputation of the industries in the community, significant and legal exposure, and loss of competitive advantage in the marketplace. So these are the importance of ethics in the workplace. Okay. So in the upcoming lecture, we are going to see the guidance of maintaining ethical in the workplace. Okay. That we are going to see. Then we are also going to see the right and duties of employees. Okay. We are also going to see the factoring right and duties. Okay. Importance of right and duties in the upcoming lecture. Okay. Firms duties and the employees' wages, health and safety, job satisfaction. Okay, all these things we are going to see in the upcoming lecture.